Because the first thing that you and I talked about on Thursday was if you don't get off the field on third down, they're going to get you. They're going to beat you. Did you listen to the Thursday show at all? If you don't get off the field on third down and you play around with a play caller like that, you're going to get your ass whooped. Also, if you do not try to establish the run game against the 120th rush defense in the country, you are going to get beat. You didn't do either, and you couldn't do either. And I thought the last play of the game, when you're hitting a tight end who's in motion, then goes back in the flat, is you flatly getting out schemed and out coached. But I say all that to say I don't really blame the defense. Did they have some issues? Yeah, they did. They did, and we'll touch on them. I don't think they played bad at all. When you're on the field for as many plays as they are, no, I don't think they played bad at all. What I think is that you're so fucking inept offensively and you don't have a pulse offensively that you're asking your defense to do so many things. Do I think your defense was a little passive? Yes. But you know what you can't do? You can't keep going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and expect this defense every single week to bail you out. What you also can't do is expect a guy to change, or a leopard to change his spots, or a tiger to change his stripes when it comes to play calling offensively. You know what you know what you know. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. You know, the funny thing is, when I look at you from a rushing perspective in the second half, you didn't do bad at all. You just kept getting away to it and away from it because you thought a quarterback who was highly inaccurate on the day and quite frankly did not have a lot of zip on the ball, you thought he would bail you out, and he couldn't. He couldn't. You're trying to be too cute, and you got punched in the mouth, and you didn't have a response. Guys, I ended Thursday's show by saying this, and exactly this. If you do not start scoring more and start being more effective in the run game, it's not a matter of if you're going to get beat. It's only a matter of when. You know, I heard a lot of people in LSU media this week saying, there's no way a D3 quarterback's going to beat us. No, you're right, because I don't think he played fantastic, even though he had a lot of really good scrambles. But what I also think is that you're so bad offensively, and you thought, oh, the Garrett injury, it is what it is. We'll be good now. We're not. Aaron Anderson going down because you throw a hospital ball to him, and he gets hurt. You go into a bye week, and you have to ask yourself a question. Are you going to do something different play calling wise? You going to do something at the quarterback position? I highly, highly, highly doubt that they do anything from the quarterback position. That was a horrible display of offense all around. Calling timeouts when you didn't need to. Line up, set, and put your head down and get a first down like your life depended on it, instead of backing away and being scared with 2 seconds left on the play clock, ready to go. Because you called the timeout with 2 seconds left on the play clock. 2 seconds. Said, hut. But you shy away from being physical because you're not a physical team. Before we get rolling here, guys, you have a personnel issue offensively. Quite simply put, when personnel was changed at right tackle, things got a little bit better, didn't it? At least today it did. You have more than just a play calling issue. You also have a personnel issue. It starts with your quarterback too. You cannot play like that on the road and think you're going to win. It starts with your offensive line. You can't play like down the road and win. It starts with your receivers. You can't run routes like that and think you're going to win. You can't be non-physical. And guys, really, the first touchdown you had was because a guy made a freakish play. It should have been picked, but Sage Ryan's also ass. You did not attack the middle of the field because they were dead last in completions over the middle of the field. We ran none of it. And when we did, duck balls came coming out. Like you're down in Venice. Ducks flying all over the place. We got to be truthful. And if you want the truth, that's the truth. Nevertheless, we're live. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Show to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every postgame show brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel.com today. Sign up today. If you got the discretionary income, Georgia, Alabama about to kick off, Penn State, Oregon about to kick off, go over there and bet those at FanDuel.com today. For any questions, go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. But every AYS Sports postgame show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. And we are gladly and appreciative of our good friends over at FanDuel. All right. Hit the like and share. There's a couple of ways, couple of announcements here. Couple of ways to get inside the chat. I see super chats flying in here. That is a way that you can get in here. Send in a super chat. We read every super chat. At the end of the show, we'll do some live call-ins. I do have the game getting ready to go over here as well. So we're in for a very long night. This win sucks. This loss sucks. This loss absolutely sucks. By the way, you got to go on the road to Bama. What is Bama going to look like tonight, guys? On the road to Oklahoma. You got some really tough opponents coming in. Can you stop Lenora Sellers? It's going to be a massive question mark, but we're here for it. All right. I know this is going to be I'm just going to pull this one up, Brandon, very quickly. General Grievous with a $2 super chat says, can Michael Van Buren be our Marcel Reed? Maybe, but it's so much more than Garrett. If Garrett's hurt, he's got to, he's got to sit. But, guys, you're going into a bye week, and there's no way, barring something massive happening, that he's out. But sitting back in the pocket and being scared to run the football is not going to win you games. I'm sorry. Guys, let me just say this, Grievous, before we get rolling. Please go and watch any show that we did from a year ago and how massively hit I got for some of the decisions in play calling and some of the decisions Garrett made. Took a whole offseason of brutality. But it doesn't matter, But today it does, because bad decisions were made. Bad throws were made. Guys, the interception was abysmal. Abysmal. Let's get to it here. If it's your first post-game show, guys, we roll through the entire game. So buckle in and get ready and hit the like and share. We greatly appreciate you doing that. First possession of the game, Ole Miss wins the toss, and they elect to receive. So they get the ball. Lacey on a dive goes for 2 or 3. Play action to strip lane in the flat. Goes for 2 and 3. 3rd and 5. Ole Miss has a false start. Guys, they screwed up all game. And this would be the start of it. Ole Miss continued throughout the night to continue to have penalties. 14, if I'm not mistaken, penalties they had on the night. They played horrible football and still beat you. There were flags being flown all over the place, and they beat you. They beat themselves, and that's the only reason that you were remotely in it. Maybe not the reason why your defense early did some really good things, but it is what it is. 3rd and 10, and a pass broken up by P.J. Woodland, and the Tigers get off the field. You play complimentary football, and good things will happen. God, I wish we had this defense in 23. Offense, after a punt, gets the football to start off the game. Carius Kern started at right tackle. Michael Cobble of WBRZ sent out a tweet, but LSU fugazied him because they told him that Weston Davis was going to start the game, got a cut, some kind of cut on his arm in pregame, and I guess couldn't play. I have no idea what happened there. None. But Carius Kern started and played the entire game at right tackle, and guys, I don't think played bad at all. I don't think he played bad at all. Big number 57 had a really good game and probably is your right tackle moving forward. The truth of the matter is you probably should put his big ass at guard so you can get at least some interior push. But I don't know if our offensive staff, with all due respect, I mean, guys, can we make a smart decision here? But Carius Kern starts it off. Sharp on a hitch that gets dropped. It was reviewed and overturned. I got to be real with you. I don't think Bauer Sharp's doing well at all. I don't think he's doing well in the run game, and he can't catch the football. Blake gets a bad pass. You're right. You're right. I do wonder if Tre'Davious Green can catch that. It's a bad throw. It's at his knees. He's got to go down to get it. But, man, you got to make some of those plays too. It's a horrible pass by your quarterback. Horrible. But what are we expecting anymore, really? What are we expecting anymore? Because it's going to continue to happen. That's the first play. Xavion Thomas motioned into the backfield, and your first dive of the day, goes for 4. I think Xavion Thomas and Harlan Berry might be your best running backs, and you went completely away from giving him the football. But the first time that Xavion Thomas gets moved into the backfield, he would get a 4-yard gain. Guys, Blake, it's only 4 yards. Shit, it's only 4 yards. Guys, we're not getting any yards, much less 4 yards. 4 yards is a massive accomplishment. A massive accomplishment. Now, Xavion would have some situations where his stats are going to say 4 of 7. 4 rushes for 7 yards. Because one play he slipped down on, and another play, well, quite frankly, you try to put Kyle Parker on a linebacker and thought that he was going to win that matchup, and he got tackled at the line of scrimmage. Just stupid decisions and formations and signal calling. Stupid as fuck. This one, you motion him into the backfield in 12 personnel, and you run it right at him, and guess what? Hey, we got 4 yards. Line it up and do it the fuck again. We're not smart enough to do that. 3rd and 6. Aaron Anderson on an in route. And Garrett Nussmeier misses him. Slant. Ball got tipped up in the air and went a good distance, almost got picked. He threw it into double coverage. Oh, good heavens to Betsy. I don't know anymore. I simply don't know anymore. I don't think he knows what he's saying. Guys, that's not a throw problem. That's not a torso problem. That's a mind problem. So LSU would punt. By the way, the punt got shanked because of course it did. Of course it did. We can't get momentum to start a drive to save our life. Just at all. I have no clue what we're doing here. Second possession for the defense. An out route to Lee gets broken up by Cooley. Really good play. Really good sticky coverage by Tamarcus Cooley as well. Lacey in the flat. He drops the football, which would bring up a 3rd and 10. Chambliss would get pressured by Patrick Payton. He's got to throw a ball away, and you force a punt. Start the game 2 3-and-outs. I mean, guys, literally, you have given up a net of 0 yards in the first 2 possessions. 0. You didn't give them shit. They had 1 5-yard gain, got pushed back by a penalty. You've given up shit. You gave up shit for 2 drives. Now, you responded on 1. And it would be probably the only one you would respond on, really. This one would be it. Xavier Thomas over the middle of the field down the seam, a floater by Garrett Nussmeier goes for 50 yards. Great decision. Ball was horribly thrown. Xavier made a fantastic catch and got 50 yards. I felt as if in that drive and at the end of the game, offensively, things started getting better when they started giving you more cushion, because they were always giving you cushion on third down. Always giving you cushion. And on first downs, they were giving you cushion too. It was a horrible throw by Nuss. It's a great play by Xavier Thomas to come back to the football, get the catch, get vertical, and get down. That kid can play football, man. And quite honestly, I don't know. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Bubble screen to Aaron Anderson goes for 7. You hit another screen behind that to Barryon Brown that goes for 5. Good. I don't care that you're nickel and diming them. Keep their offense off of the field. Keep their offense off of the field. By the way, I know that we don't really want to see this, but guys, I thought you had a lot of production from your screen game today. 7 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards. And I wondered after this drive why we got away from it. But you had some really good stuff there. Juwan Johnson on a dive for no gain. Josh Thompson gets pushed into the backfield. Fade route to Trey Green gets tipped in the air. Nick Anderson dives and makes a catch for a touchdown. Guys, it's a horrible decision by Garrett. You're lucky that Sage Ryan is on Trey Green. My question is simple on the touchdown. Two things we need to discuss on the touchdown for you to go up 7. Go up 7 there. Why do you have a guy that's 6'7" and he's got to bend over for the football? Like, how was that throw even made? That's not a time, guys. I'm sorry, that's not a timing issue. You've had all offseason. He's 6'7". And no, I'm not making the joke either. I'm not talking about the joke, like the 6'7". I'm not talking about that. He's 6'7". Sage Ryan, God bless his soul, tips the ball in the air, Trey Green on Sage Ryan. Trey tips the ball in the air. Nick Anderson dives and makes an incredible catch. You got bailed out. You wouldn't go back to Nick Anderson until the fourth quarter. So a dude makes a ridiculous diving catch. Ridiculous. To give you your first score. That's going to be about what we see from him. It's a horrible throw. It's a great play. You get 7. It's a horrible throw. Bailed out. You feel good about it. Look, some luck went your way. But guys, goodness gracious. You have a floater that goes for 50, a couple of screens that are good, a throw to Aaron Anderson in double coverage that gets tipped in the air and almost picked, if we're just going to be honest here, a hitch route at Bauer Sharp's knees. You started the game off atrociously bad. You just got some big plays in there and some amazing plays by your receivers. Let's call it the truth. I don't get like we talk about play calling as an example. Throwing a fade route to a guy that is athletically as a freak as Trey Green, I'm just not going to mind because that's going one-on-one with a fantastic playmaker who can jump over anybody that wears pads. The problem I have is that you throw it back shoulder or you're throwing them at their knees. You got to get a tight end who is that freakishly athletic a chance to moss human beings. Throwing it back shoulder is not what you should do there. And I understand that people are going to say, hey, they look like maybe there's a safety on top. Guys, you throw a jump ball for him to go high point it more than anybody in that stadium. Say what? You come away with the score, but even then, you were still broken. You needed help, and you got it. You massively got it. You go up 7-0. I mean, I love it, but good Lord. It would be the microcosm of your day. Third possession for the defense. Alexander on a jet sweep goes for no gain. Lacey on a dive goes for 2. And on 3rd and 8, Wright, their big tight end, runs an in route and goes for 9. We had no answer for him. Zero answer for Wright, their tight end. I don't know what we're doing. How could you watch any of the games, any of them, when it comes to what Ole Miss has done and they're not going to target him on 3rd down? They're always going to target him on 3rd down. But it's your first one of the night and your first down. Lacey on a screen goes for 9. They had numbers. Luckily, A.J. Halsey is a dog because you had 3 guys and they had 4. And if A.J. Halsey doesn't make a play, you're in massive trouble. But he does. Lacey on a dive goes for 2 and a first down. Another run goes for 8. A.J. Halsey again on the stop. Massive day for your safety. Dive goes for 1, which would force a 3rd and 1. Chambliss on a power run. Quarterback power run goes for 3. So they've hit 2 third downs on you. Guys, they're one of the most efficient teams in the country on 3rd down because their quarterback can run the football. I said this 2 years ago, even 4 years ago, really, with Jaden Daniels. Okay? A quarterback that can move with his legs, a quarterback that can run is probably the most, and is electric at doing it or good at doing it, is by far the most dangerous weapon on the field. It's what makes Mahomes special. It's what makes Allen special. It's what makes Jackson, Daniels. And God honest, guys, I know it's not his biggest strength, but the athletic ability of a guy with his legs like Joe Burrow, it makes him all elite. And Chambliss being able to do what he does, he's not those guys. Blake, you just compared him to some of the best quarterbacks in all of the NFL. You're right, I did, and he's not them. But it doesn't matter because when you can use your legs, you're going to win football games, guys. So they get a second, 3rd down on 3rd and short. Watkins, the slot receiver on an in route, beats Tamarcus Cooley and goes for 13. Jet sweep for Lee goes for 1. Harold Perkins runs down a slot receiver and it goes for 1. Broken play, Chambliss breaks left, cuts right back up the middle, and goes for 11 and a first down. After the first time that Chambliss ran for a first down on this drive, I was wondering when you were going to start spying him. And, guys, you didn't all night. It was the dumbest move you made. You got to put somebody on their quarterback. And I know when you do that, that's when they start hitting you with other shit. But, guys, you cannot allow this guy to get plays on you. Chambliss on the night, for whatever it's worth, had 14 carries for 71 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. 5.1. It's the most dangerous thing you can do. You did not respect your rushing lanes either. allowing a guy like that to do some of the things that he did was because you allowed him to with your shitty-ass rush lanes. So that's on you. How you let that dude do it is beyond me. Diggs and Lacey on a veer and a dive go for a total of 5 yards. So 2 carries for 5 yards, which brings up a 3rd and 5. Chambliss, scramble right, goes for 7. How many times is he going to do it, guys? It's going to be an all-night problem. Now, last year, a scramble, you would have given up 72. This year, you're only giving up 7, 11. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than what it has been, I guess, would be the only thing that I could really say about that. It's the only good thing that you do. Instead of giving up big plays, you're giving up less bigger plays. Guys, he scrambled 3 times in that drive, 2 on 3rd down that went for a 1st down. Lacey and Lee, 1 on a dive, 1 on a screen, get a total of about 6 yards. Ole Miss calls the timeout, and on 3rd and 4, Chambliss, for the first time, tries to throw it on 3rd down, gets knocked away by Patrick Payton, and you force a field goal 7-3. So listen, 3 drives, 3 points. That drive was not good, but they found some momentum on you. I will take a point per drive every single game. Just a news flash, you had 11 possessions. So, look, Lane's going to hit stuff on you. Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to hit some stuff on you. If that's what I'm giving up in the first quarter, so be it. Really good way to start off a game. Patrick Payton getting and staying in his rush lanes, making Chambliss throw the football and knocking it away is one of the best plays that you've had on the night. The multiple knockaways are some of the best plays that you had on the night. Didn't respect the rush lanes. All right, 7-3. You're about to go into the second quarter here. Brown on a screen goes for 7. Thomas on an outside zone. Josh Thompson gets blown up. Xavion's got a reverse field, slips and falls. 56 is getting whipped. They got to make a decision. They can say that he's not, but the film does not lie. It just does not lie. So I can clip it, post it, and say this continues to happen because it continues to happen. Guys, that's not a running back problem. That's a personnel up front problem. You got your ass whooped. 3rd and 5, PI on an out route on Aaron Anderson, which, guys, I think you got bailed out there. You got bailed out. This was a problem of the night. You had a timeout following a 3rd and 5 pass interference. 3rd and 5 pass interference on an out route that was a horrible throw by Garrett. I mean, Aaron Anderson, if he's not touched, is not catching it. He's not coming close to catching it. You got bailed out. It's the only way to put it. It's the only 1st down you'd really get to outside of the Chris Hilton out route. But you get some momentum. All right, so listen. Wasn't a great play, but on an out route, you get a PI, you move the sticks. And what do you do coming out of it? Garrett Nussmeier's got to call a timeout. Guys, either he can't hear the plays, doesn't know the plays, or thought he was getting more time, or he's not getting the plays in fast enough. But, guys, they're showing Sloan in the press box calling the plays at the start of 40 seconds. So either the sideline, Sloan, or Garrett has no idea what they're doing. You got some momentum. Then you stop it with a timeout. Even though that momentum is not really yours. So stupid. Chris Hilton on an out route goes for 10. Oh, and by the way, you got a hands to the face, which didn't count for Chris Hilton. So Chris had a catch for 10 yards on an out route, and it doesn't get counted because it's hands to the face. Good for Chris, but 2 penalties are giving you 1st downs technically. Offsides on Ole Miss. You're in a fade route to Chris Hilton that was underthrown and probably should have been PI. Guys, Chris Hilton's got space for days. He's got space for days. If the reason Chris keeps having PI calls called on him is mainly due to the fact he's got to come back to the football, and guys are grabbing him and trying to stop him because he's got to come back to the football. It should have been a touchdown. This play right here, the play before should have been a touchdown. Chris had him beat. If you make a good throw, it's a touchdown. You're up 14-3. That's not play calling. So a lot of people are going to come in here tonight and talk about Sloan. You got beat by 5. The throw to Chris should have been a tutty, but you underthrew it. It happened multiple times tonight. That's not on your play caller. I have a fast-ass receiver to get him down the field on the fade route in man coverage. Sounds good. You keep underthrowing it. That is a quarterback problem. It's a quarterback problem. So I go back to 2022. The complaint on Jaden was he's not pushing the ball down the field. Okay. You're trying to push the ball down the field, which is a plus. But in that plus, you got to hit dudes there. You got to be able to hit a fast guy like that in stride. Overthrow the son of a bitch. Overthrow it. But you keep getting into a situation, you got to make an adjustment. You can't keep underthrowing those. It would continue throughout the night. So I take this break, media timeout here, to say, guys, you missed so many points. You missed them. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but someone's going to have to tell you the truth. Here's the truth. You keep missing that kind of stuff when you got some shit open, you're not going to move the ball. You're not going to move the ball. It's a great play call by Sloan. Hey, fade route on Chris Hilton. I got man coverage. Oh, shit, he beat the guy off the line of scrimmage. Oh, shit, he's got 2 steps. Oh, shit, the ball's underthrown. 3 oh shit moments that turns into shit. Should have been a touchdown. Second quarter starts. Brown on an in around goes for 7 or 8. Second and second. Barryon Brown on an in route. Garrett Nussmeier picked. At this point, it's a joke. You know what else you didn't see in there? You had one outside zone, and you threw the ball on every single play. You didn't even try to attempt to run the football. You had one attempt, a guy slipped. So what? You got a first down. Run the ball. They are the 120th defense in the country in run defense. Run the ball. He just underthrew someone. So let's just go through the first quarter. This is on Sloan. Let's go through the first quarter. You had a duck throw to Xavion Thomas. You had a bad throw to Trey'Dez Green. You had a bad throw to Aaron Anderson twice on one that almost got picked in double coverage and an out route. What is he doing that gives you any confidence? Well, Blake, we don't have any confidence in the run game. He slipped down. You can't go away from it. Guys, how many tackles for loss did you have tonight? Lane wasn't going away from his run game. You mean to tell me that Ole Miss is legitimately recruiting and developing along their offensive line than LSU is? Okay, then that's a problem. Then that is a problem. Is it not? That should not happen. On the interception, I just don't think Garrett knows what he sees sometimes. I don't. And I don't mind you getting picked off when you get confused. I think he got confused there. I do. I think he got confused. But, man, when you're starting to get in field goal range, you can't make that throw when you're starting to gain all the momentum. You just can't. You kill yourself. You had a fade route that was open to Chris Hilton that should have been a touchdown. It results into an interception by Garrett. That's not play calling. I don't like that they're not running the football because that's not play calling. You got an end around that goes for 9 yards. I mean, if y'all want to consider that run a run, fine, I guess. You get what I'm saying. Sounds good. You got to run. You got to end around. Goes for 9. The next play, you throw the ball and it gets picked. Good Lord. Problem. Fourth possession for the defense. Stripling on a slant gets missed. False start on the left tackle for Ole Miss. Chambliss is flushed, and he's got to make a play, and he goes up the middle, and LSU has a face mask. So a miss slant, false start, face mask, first down. This drive would not be good. Veer, Chambliss, 9 yards. Lacey, dive, 3 yards. Lacey, pitch, 10 yards. Gets called back. Ole Miss on holding. A false start and a holding on this possession. Get ready for it. It's not going to end well. It's not going to really end well because you completely give up field position. Completely. I mean, well, Blake, it's going to end well because it ends in a punt. Well, I mean, you gave up field position. Lacey on another pitch goes for 6 yards. Diggs in the flat goes for 2, which would bring up a third down. On the third down, you have a holding. So it gets called back. And a legal formation on a punt on 3rd and 21 by Ole Miss. Then you jump off sides. You had him pinned. Chambliss gets a run for 11 yards, and then they punt the ball away. So after all of that, he gets majority of it back, and they punt the ball. You can't let dude run on you like that, dude. You can't. You got to force him and make him throw the football. Send 3. Send 3. Drop 8. I don't know, but God Lord. You completely gave up your field position there. And if you would have kept leaning on him, maybe you could have gotten a field goal. Oh, not good. Fourth possession offensively. Brown on a post route. Nuss misses him high. Brown gets laid out. Not good. Xavion on a dive run that goes for 4 yards. 2 times, Xavion got motion in the backfield, went right up the gut, and went for 4 yards. When are we going to realize that maybe he should be getting touches at running back? Now, it's not lighting the world on fire, okay? But when you're putting him in the backfield and going from the pistol and handing him the ball off, guys, he keeps going for 4 yards. At what point do you look at that and say, hey, nobody can cover Chris Hilton deep, can't really throw it to him deep, so no one really gives a shit. But he's being productive in the run game. At what point do you not go back to that is my question. 3rd and 6, Nuss is flushed, and he gets 1 yard. Sertain Perkins on the stop. I tweeted about this on the 3rd down. Nuss is sitting in the pocket on a 3-man rush, and Sertain Perkins gets flushed down the line of scrimmage. Nuss panicked and got flushed and tried to run. While running, he had a wide open Chris Hilton and a wide open Aaron Anderson. Greg McElroy on the telecast on the replay says, I know that there's a little pressure here, but Aaron Anderson is sitting there all by himself for the first down on a drag route. You're looking at him. If you go deer hunting, it's like a whitetail when you're sitting on the ground, looking you right in your face. Gotcha, bitch. You're looking right at him. Throw the ball. You got to know. You have – guys, let me ask this question. How do you not know that a drag route is being run and that when you're getting flushed that it's not there? How? Please tell me. How do you not know when you're getting flushed that Aaron Anderson is coming down? How do you not know? He's got to be your first read when you get out of the pocket there. Just god awful. So a 3-and-out and you punt. God, you killed yourself. You're so fucking bad on offense. You're so fucking bad. It's embarrassing. 5th possession defensively. Fade to Alexander. Goes for 16. It gets landed on DJ Pickett. This is all I'm going to say. Go watch the Thursday show. The literally only thing from a sourcing perspective I said all day, go back and listen to it. There are people on that staff that I know, they were going after 11-3. Literally the second thing we talked about, but no big deal. No big deal. But they hit you on a fade route. At least they got a Division III quarterback that can throw the fade route. Think about that for a minute. Lacey on a tackle for loss. Cooley comes down from his free safety position and gets a tackle in the backfield. Chambliss. No one there. Throws the ball away and you kind of got bailed out. Jack Pyburn tackled the tight end in the flat, and I thought they were going to call it on him, but they didn't. Regardless, he's got to throw it away and force a 3rd and 11. Alexander goes on a hitch for 14 yards on DJ Pickett. They're attacking the freshman, man. It is what it is. Lee goes for 19 on a hitch route. AJ Halsey. Oh, no, excuse me. This is the play before. Lacey on a dive for 1. Lee on a seam route goes for 19. AJ Halsey punches the ball out, and you recover it in the end zone. Guys, they've given up 3 points all half to that point. 3. They got you the ball back. So, again, defense holding strong through the first. It would be after this that they would start to break down. So, look, it is what it is there. But a great play by A.J. Halsey. Guys, your safety play is so much better than it has been. He and Tamarcus Cooley. Tamarcus getting a tackle for loss on a run by Lacey on that drive. And A.J. Halsey, who punched the ball out for you to get the ball back. That Halsey's going to play at the next level. He is. He's instinctually that good. Punching the ball out there, getting the ball. I mean, look, you give up a big play, and they were about to go take the lead on you. They're about to go take the lead. And just a very instinctive and great play. That kid continues to make plays. He continues to be very good. It is what it is there. Aaron Anderson on a bubble goes for 10. Trey Green called for holding, gets pushed back. Aaron Anderson on a post route. He airmails it. Aaron Anderson goes up, falls down on his elbow, and he's out of the game. Hospital ball. Really bad play there. Really bad throw. Nuss had a horrible first half, guys. Horrible. But he airmails the throw to Aaron Anderson, and Aaron gets hit in the air and falls on his elbow and hurts himself. I have no idea, and I hadn't really seen anything, so I don't know. I have no idea what's wrong with Aaron Anderson. I guess we're going to find out. Maybe y'all can tell me in the chat. Somebody that listened to Brian Kelly's postgame, tell me in the chat what happened. God awful. Absolutely god awful. Disgusting. All right, 6 possession on the defense. This is where Ole Miss would go and take the lead. Lacey on a dive, Ole Miss for 8. Ole Miss gets called for a holding. Very next play, West Weeks gets called for roughing the passer after he knocked the ball in the air and then pushed Chambliss for a first down. Stupid. Guys, you got another 3rd and 10 here. You're probably going to get off the field. You're probably going to get off the field. Dumb. But first down for Ole Miss. Chambliss back to pass. Patrick Payton bats a ball down, his 2nd of the night. Really good stuff there by him. Chambliss missed on a hitch, what forces a 3rd down. So a 3rd and 10. You had 2 opportunities. If you don't have a penalty and you have an opportunity here to get off the field, Bernard Gooden jumps off sides, which would make it a 3rd and 5. Guys, you can't bail them out. I mean, they won and they bailed you out a lot. You can't bail them out. Bad. Penalties ruin you. They ruin you. They ruined you on this drive. So a roughing the passer and a offsides penalties makes it 3rd and 5. Watkins on an out route goes for 12 to Marcus Cooley in on the stop. Brutal. Backbreaker. West has got, guys, West Weeks has been around more football than anybody. You got to know that when he throws the football there, that quite simply, you cannot push him. Bernard Gooden was a nose tackle when he jumped. Like, go back and watch it. He was over the center. Literally over the center. How do you, guys, I have never in my life understood how you can be literally right over the football and jump off sides. I don't get it. I do not get it. It is god awful. Still had an opportunity to get off the field and you don't. Lacey on a screen goes for 6. Pickett. DJ Pickett then on a fade route catches an interception, goes for a pick 6, but it's a pass interference on himself. Guys, it was a PI. It was a PI. So, I mean, God, that would have completely turned the tables. Completely have turned the tables. It's a PI and a good call. I mean, he pulled the receiver in to get him out of the way to go for the football. He does have a right for the football, but you can't do that. Can't do that. Love the pick 6. The thing I'd say on DJ Pickett is, guys, I will take that for a young freshman starting. I'm going to take that because you know he will be better and the ability will be better. And when he gets older and wiser and is more experienced, he's going to catch the interception and get away with the PI because he knows what he's got to do there. That's the level of ability that young man has. I hate the pass interference. It's a critical moment, but guys, you're going to be in a lot of critical moments this year. It sucks. I get it. I'm not coming down on that at all. At all. You see the ability. Experience will make him better, and he'll continue to make plays like that. And then there's probably a likelihood as he gets older that refs are going to start giving him the benefit of the doubt. They don't there for the young freshman. But a pick 6 turns into a pass interference. Fade to Wallace, then a PI on P.J. Woodland. Again, guys, literally on Thursday, the only thing I said that I am sourcing is I know people on that Ole Miss staff very well. I said it all week. They are not going to attack Mansour Delane. It's not going to happen. They're going to attack everybody else but number 4. They're not going to go in its general direction. They're going, and specifically that I have heard, they're attacking downfield number 11 and number 3. So back-to-back PIs, brutal there, man. I mean, really, their first touchdown drive had nothing to do with what they did and everything to do with you allowing that to happen. You have the roughing the passer, the offsides, and back-to-back PIs. They're just putting pressure on you, and you're messing it up. So they did not do anything special. They're putting pressure on you and saying, oh, man, are you going to make the play? Because we know you're scared about it. We got the momentum. You're leaning, but all the momentum is with us right now. And it shifted, and they got it, and they would not look back. This started to become the backbreaker, this drive for you. You won't really stop them the rest of the night. You get 1 3 and out the rest of the night here. But they did absolutely nothing special. You had 4 penalties on that drive. After you have 4 penalties, think about this. Literally 4 penalties gets them into a position in the red zone. They have a run called, and they score a touchdown to take the lead. They did nothing special here on this one. You broke your own back. The situation was too big for you at that moment. And give credit to Ole Miss. Where credit is due, they put pressure on you, and there was nothing that you could do about it. You did not have an answer. All right, you're down 10-7. Let's get here right before halftime. Offense, swing pass to Xavier Thomas goes for 12 yards. Thomas on an inside dive goes for 2. 3 carries, 3 carries, 10 yards, 3 yards a carry. I don't mind it. Aaron Anderson drag. The pass is behind him. It's caught. It goes for 5. Horrible pass by Garrett ultimately led to Aaron Anderson getting hurt again. Guys, it was one of the worst first halves I've seen Garrett Nussmeier play in. One of the worst first halves. It's a catch. It's a catch. It's behind Aaron Anderson when he's in stride. Now, this would be the last play of the game for Aaron Anderson. And I will tell you this, and I'm sure it's going to be a massive talking point going forward. You ain't doing shit without him offensively. You're not good enough. Unless you start getting very creative or start throwing the ball downfield and actually hitting Chris Hilton on some of these fade routes, you ain't doing shit. You ain't going to do shit. Because he has been, quite honestly, he has been the anchor for you. He was the anchor for you last season. He was the anchor for you and the superstar in this one. And that sucks. I, again, don't know what's up with Aaron Anderson. I'm sure we'll figure it out, but God, I hope this isn't extended. But it's a bad throw by Garrett. A very bad throw. From not that far away. Leads to a 3rd and 4. Garrett can't see anybody open. He hits Caleb Jackson in the flat, and he goes for 1. So outside of the Xavier Thomas swing pass, you didn't do shit. And you punted the ball away. Not good. Ole Miss would go on a scoring drive right before half. Lee would go on an in route for 30 yards. Harold Perkins looked like busted the coverage, and then you have the 2-minute timeout. All momentum goes Ole Miss. Ole Miss on a holding gets pushed back for 10. Doesn't matter because Alexander on P.J. Woodland on a fade route on the boundary goes for 20. Guys, you have a holding. They found something. They stuck to it. They kept throwing the fade routes. Kept throwing them. And you didn't have an answer there. But a fade route goes for 20. Chambliss on a draw goes for 5. Lacey on a dive goes for 2. 3rd and 3. Lacey is forced and pushed outside and gets a gain of 1, which forces a 4th down. Ole Miss on a timeout. Ole Miss on a 4th and 2. Hold on. Let's walk through this. So, the score is 10-7. And Ole Miss, right before the half, is hitting big plays. You go to a 2-minute warning. In the 2-minute warning, Excuse me. It's not the 2-minute warning. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You go into a 2-minute warning on third down. Woodland would stop Lacey after the 2-minute. They would run a play and then call a timeout, which forces 4th and 2nd. So 4th and 2. Hold on. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Blake, I'm watching you. Don't tell me to stop. Okay. Guys, they call a play on 4th and 2 to the tight end for a first down. A play action in the flat to the big tight end. They called it on 4th down at the end of the first half. What was the play that they called to end the game with? What was the play that they called to end the game with? The same exact play to the opposite side. They flipped it on you. They did not do anything special. They flipped it on you. So I want you to remember in the first half, when it's 4th down and they're trying to go get points. By the way, they're only up 3. They're only up 3 points. And they hit their big tight end in the flat. You had a 4th down at the end of the game that would have gotten you the ball back down 5. They run the same play, but they flip it and run it to the opposite side. Ball game, nighty-night. How do you not know? How do you not know? The first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. First time, listen, you got me. It's a great play call. You got me. How did you not know on a 4th and 2, 4th and 3 to end the game that the possibility was not there that they were going to do it again on you? How? First and goal. First and goal. This ends the game for you, by the way, in some regards, because you could have forced a field goal there, or you could have forced the 4th down when they went for it. You could have been down 3. Guys, this is a game-changing play. Massive key play of the game is both tight ends in the flat. They ran a zone read with an RPO on the backside of it with a tight end in the flat. Insanity. First and goal, Lacey goes for 3. Then on an out route to Lee, if I'm not mistaken, it was Lee. God forgive me if it's Caden Lee on an out route. They had the numbers, goes in there, touchdown. You're down 17 to 7. Atrocious. Absolutely fucking atrocious. So we're at halftime here. Send in your shares, send in your likes, send in your super chats. We'll get to some phone calls in just a moment. In just a moment, we'll get to some phone calls. Do us a favor, hit the like and share. Every postgame show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel.com today to sign up. Play. You got some discretionary money. Utilize it. Let's go have some fun with our good friends over at FanDuel. AYS Sports and every AYS Sports postgame is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. 7th possession of the game. LSU would get the ball to start the second half. Brown goes on a hitch for 8. Johnson for 3. Nuss gets sacked on a 3-man pressure. How in the outright fuck do you get sacked on a 3-man pressure? How? Guys, I don't get it. It's play calling, yes. Quarterback, yes. Personnel on the O-line, yes. A 3-man rush, guys. They ran the same shit on you that they did last year because they knew that they could beat you with it. Three-man rush, but Garrett gets sacked. 2nd and 18, Nuss gets flushed left, throws the ball away. 3rd and 18, Jackson right up the middle goes for 10 on a check down. The Tigers would have to punt on 4th and 8. Get the ball out at halftime. You're down 10, and you did nothing with it. You had zero adjustments. In there, you had a run for 3 to 4 yards. Brown hitch. Johnson goes for 3 to 4 yards on an inside dive. Nuss gets sacked. You completely abandoned it. Completely. Shame on you. Shame on Sloan. That's abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. So you punt the ball away, give it right back to Ole Miss. Defense would force a stop here coming out of the second half. Hitch gets missed. Lacey toss goes for no gain. Ole Miss gets a holding. LSU would decline it to make it 3rd and 10. Chambliss on a draw goes for 12. How are you getting these long situations and not spying Trinidad Chambliss? It's the same thing we talked about in the whole first half. How? You came out offensively and defensively and did not make an adjustment. You sent no pressure. I thought, okay, well, in the second half, they're really going to turn up the pressure on him. He ran a draw for 12 on 3rd and 10 and got a first down. How? Like, I don't mind. Let me tell you what I don't mind. What I don't mind is you've been playing soft coverage. You hadn't been putting anybody on him. You hadn't been spying him. All right, fine. Well, second half, you're definitely going to adjust that now based off of him running the football long on you. And you didn't adjust to anything. And by the way, you sent no real pressure. Or at least when you did, you didn't get it home. And I know the tempo scared the shit out of you. But you got to mix it up there. A draw play gets 12 yards on 3rd and 10. They've been doing this with him for 3 weeks now. And on your ass during a half, and you thought it wasn't possible? Last time I saw a coach not spy a quarterback that can run, he got fired at LSU. Blake Baker ain't doing that. But Matt House, I mean, can we put a spy on Jalen Milroe, please? I mean, that's so dumb to not do that. Golly. Defense would hold strong, though. Chambliss would have to throw the ball away. They run a power run with him that gets 2, and on 3rd and 8, he gets flushed by Patrick Payton. He throws a hitch, and he misses it, so it would force a punt. I mean, I get it. You still get a stop, but, man, got to be able to stop him from running the football. Harlem Berry gets in the game for really the first time, and his first run of the game goes for 5 on a simple dive play. Mabinga gets hurt Mabinga doesn't get hurt on that play. It's the next one. A swing pass to Berry goes for 2 yards, and then a dive goes for 3 on 3rd and 2 and a first down. If I run the football, I can get first downs. I can get 3 yards of carry. I mean, it's not lighting the world on fire, guys, but it's keeping them consistent. It's keeping them consistent. I don't know. Not good. Not good. Set everything up for you. Brown on a bubble screen. Barryon Brown on a bubble screen goes for 7. Hilton on a fade route with a PI. It's the one close to the end zone. He jumps up. His arms get hit, and Chris Hilton comes down, and they throw the flag before the ball even gets there. So a fade route goes for a PI. They're going to continue. I mean, at least this one was a little bit more catchable, but he's got to also come back to the football. McElroy on the telecast pointed it out. You hit him in stride, guys, it's a touchdown. So you have 2 fade routes to Chris Hilton that are there and are open, and you underthrow the ball, and you get 2 PIs. Good that you got the pass interferences. But you're talking about 14 points that you are taking off the board here if you hit it in stride. Damn, Georgia down 14-0. Going into Bama doesn't seem that easy anymore, does it? Fade route to Hilton goes for a PI. Barry, no gain. Outside run goes for 1. And on 3rd and 9, Xavier Thomas on a drag route goes for 2. Why are you on 3rd and 9 throwing a drag route when everything is getting caught in front of them? Again, guys, I don't even know Garrett's stats on the night, but I bet you they're not good at all. They can't be. 21 of 34. I mean, how many screens and bubbles are in there? Horrible night. But you line up for a 39-yard field goal, and it's good. Defense on their 9th possession, jet sweep goes for 2. A.J. Halsey comes in on the stop. Odom, the other tight end on a drag route goes for 12. Chambliss on a draw goes for 2. Jack Pyburn in on the stop. Lacey on a dive goes for no gain, forcing a 3rd and 8. Watkins on an in route on Tamarcus Cooley goes for 12. Or excuse me, Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins goes for 12. Why do you have a slot guy, Perk on a slot guy? Why don't you have a safety? Why don't you have Cooley? Why are you putting Perk on a slot guy that can beat him? We're going to say, guys, Perk's not good in coverage. Well, I mean, you shouldn't put him on that slot guy on a 3rd and 8. Stupid. Very stupid. Lacey on a dive goes for 4, and then a fade route to Harrison gets picked off as P.J. Woodland bats the ball in the air and picks it off. Good play. Great players adjust, and I thought that P.J. Woodland did there. Hey, man, you keep throwing fade routes on me. You got me a couple times. You ain't getting me a 3rd time. That's what great players do. And I got to be honest with you guys, I think that P.J. Woodland's played pretty damn good. Gave up a couple of PIs, so what? But the interception, man, I mean, that's learning. A true sophomore on the field learning, a big deal. Big interception. You would go the entire 3rd quarter and not give up a point defensively. So you respond, even though you have some issues, you respond in the 3rd quarter defensively, and in the 1st and 3rd quarter, you gave up a total of 3 points. 3 points. So you had some defensive lapses. You had some bad situations because you only gave up 24, and you had 2 quarters in total that you only gave up 3. To start the game, you gave up, to start the game and coming out of halftime, you gave up 3 points. I'm going to take that every time from your defense, every single time. Your offense's inability to stay on the field and hit plays is going to wear this defense out. They gave up some in the 2nd, and they gave some up in the 4th. But the bottom line remains, they give up 7 points in the 2nd half. 7. You got to be better on offense. So a really good stop there and a really good interception by P.J. Woodland. 9th possession offensively. Johnson on a dive goes for 2. Barryon on an in route goes for 15. Oh, who would have thought? Using the middle of the field. Who would have ever fucking thought? Xavier Thomas on a fade route falls incomplete. Let me stop right there. I love Xavier. I think that Xavier's done some really good things. Can I ask a question? Why, if Chris Hilton is going to continue to beat them and you push the ball down the field and they keep committing pass interferences, are you throwing it anywhere near anybody when you're pushing the ball down the field? Why? Because Chris isn't coming up with the ball? That's not on him. He drew 2 pass interference play calls. That's not on him. Sorry, it's not. Well, Blakey's got to catch. Okay, fine. He had PIs drawn on him. That's a winning play for him. So regardless of what you want to say, think, do, whatever, doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck. But you get to a situation where, why are you throwing that to Xavier? By the way, if you flip the play, Barryon was in man coverage on the opposite side. He ran a fade too. And he had steps. Lack of awareness, man. A complete lack of awareness. It's getting your ass toasted and roasted. All right. It is what it is. Parker on a bubble goes for no gain. He didn't even get touched. Well, he did get touched. Bauer Sharp got demolished and ran over, and just bad stuff. Nuss on 3rd and 10 sails a ball over the middle to Barryon Brown that falls incomplete. Oh, God bless it. LSU lines up for a field goal, a 48-yard field goal, and they got to call a timeout. Why can't we just have some simple shit? Why can you not know it's 3rd down and we're in field goal range and I might have to kick this if you're Damian Ramos? Why are we calling it, not that it would stop anything really. Why are we having to call a timeout and I think Brian Kelly's got great clock management skills. What I don't like is that his team goes into situations where they're lining up for a 48-yard field goal when you had time to run out there and you had 40 seconds, guys. Does it take you 40 seconds to run out on the field? You got all of your offensive linemen on there pretty much already, and to kick a fucking field goal where you got to call a timeout. How? That shit's got to get better. Got to get better. All right. 10 possession defensively. Lee on an in route falls incomplete. PI or no PI on Cooley. Chambliss flushed, hits the tight end on an in route for 23. Ridiculous catch. He's got to come back for the ball. Makes a ridiculous catch. I mean, sometimes you tip your cap on that. Holding on Ole Miss, and it would start the 4th quarter. They would run the clock out and start the 4th quarter there. Lacey in the flat, ball gets dropped. Stribbling on a hitch goes for 12, which would force a 3rd and 8 after the holding call. Lacey on a 15-yard veer that gets called back. They ran the ball on 3rd and 8 and picked up 15. They got called for holding. This is a critical situation here. So you got a 3rd and 8 that gets pushed back after a run that a wide receiver Stribbling gets called for holding. You move him back after giving up a 1st down on a run on 3rd and 8. You had 3rd and 14 and Wallace on an in route on DJ Pickett gets completed. Because Ole Miss on the night would go a whopping 8 of 16 on 3rd down, 2 for 2 on 4th down. They would total up being 10 for 18 on conversion downs. You can't be 3rd and 14 plus and give that up. You can't. You could have gotten off the field with very good field position. Guys, you only gave up 7 points in the second half. I get it. They're going to hit some big plays on you, but there are some critical situations like that can't happen. If you get off the field, you've already kicked 2 field goals. You've already kicked 2 field goals. You're down at that point 17-13. You got to get off the field there for field position reasons. This offense can't go 80 yards. Guys, they can barely go 8 yards, much less 80 yards. Got to give them better field position. Lee on a hitch that goes for 10. Lacey in the flat goes for 8. Lacey on a dive goes for 13. They push the pile. Lacey gets tackled for a loss by Harold Perkins. Then Logan Diggs comes in for a touchdown. After you gave up a 3rd and 14, they scored their only drive of the night. It's why it's so big. Pause. But it's why it's such a massive situation there. Guys, you win the football game. It's a lot to ask on your defense. That this isn't on them. They're going to give up points. They're going to give up points. I mean, you don't want to say anything, do anything in reference to the defense here, but you're in the game and you're in a situation where you got 3rd and 14. You got to get off the field there. You must. You must. Oh, backbreaker, man. Backbreaker. You're not going to win all these games by only scoring 19 points, guys. You're just not. And your defense held on, but guys, I mean, again, they gave up 7 points in the second half. You got to be able to score enough. You got to be able to score enough to win the football game. I mean, it's as simple as that. But guys, after this, you wouldn't stop them the rest of the night. They'd only have one more possession, but you wouldn't stop them. And it's such a backbreaker. Such a backbreaker. In a close game, it's a backbreaker. The 3rd and 14 was an ultimate backbreaker. I don't know. They went at a true freshman, man, and said, hey, true freshman, let's see what you got. And he's a talented kid, but very talented kid. But you got to know that that's what they're going to do. I mean, guys, it's 3rd and 14. What else are they going to do but throw the ball down the field? They're not going to give the ball back to you. You're starting to seize momentum here. Insane. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You would go on a 17-play drive here, the last possession of the night for you offensively. Barry gets hit in the backfield. Josh Thompson gives up the pressure and a loss for 2. Parker on an out route goes for 9 to 10, forces a 3rd and 2nd. Johnson on a dive, Juwan Johnson goes for 4 yards. Again, I get some of the bad negative plays, but man, you're running the ball for 4 yards. Nick Anderson on an in route goes for 21. So the guy that makes the ridiculous catch, hey, let's wait to and scores a touchdown. You know what? Let's wait until the 4th quarter to get him the ball again. Because that's smart. That's very smart. So stupid. Hilton on a fade route falls incomplete. Good. Fine. Let him guard it. Caleb Jackson, the flat, the ball gets dropped. 3rd and 10, Juwan Johnson goes for 7 or 8, and forces a 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. 4th and 3, excuse me. 4th and 3, Parker goes in the flat, stretches the ball out in the flat, and goes for a 1st down. Really good play there by Kyle Parker. Sharp on a hitch goes for 9. Barryon on a fade goes incomplete. Should have been a PI there, but it wasn't. 3rd and 1, Johnson goes for no gain, and you line up for 4th and 1. Garrett Nussmeier has to toughen up and snap the football and get a yard. He must. Guys, I am dumbfounded why he called a timeout with 2 seconds left on the play clock. Dumbfounded. I really am. I am dumbfounded. He looks scared. Quarterback, jumbo, QB sneak, jumbo, QB sneak. That's the play call. Jumbo, QB sneak. You should fucking know. You don't need to go through a formation and as long as play call. Jumbo, jumbo, jumbo. Or sneak, 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 sneak. Personnel knows to run the fuck up out there, sneak. Run the tush push for all I care. Run the tush push for all I care. You had 2 seconds left on the play clock for a critical timeout that you needed. It's a lack of awareness. That's not on Sloan, but guys, it's not on Joe. Fourth and 1, Josh Thompson jumps, and you have a false start. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. 4th and 6, Parker on an out route goes for 8, and you get a first down. Thank God. Xavion on a fade route falls incomplete. Why are you throwing a fade route to Xavion? Offside by Deshaun Womack. He would get a sack on the play, so they don't blow it dead. Deshaun Womack is considered offsides and gets a sack. Barry on an inside zone run or inside zone goes for 9 yards. Then the very next play goes for 8 and a touchdown. Running the football, eh? With a 5-star running back, eh? It works. Interesting. All right, last possession of the game. We'll start getting to super chats. Chambliss on a counter goes for no gain. Then a scramble on a passing play. A broken play goes for 11. Why are you not spying him? Doo-dah. What the fuck are we doing? Not spying his ass. Lacey on a dive goes for 4. Lacey on a dive goes for 17. You're busted at this point. Defense couldn't stop a nosebleed with the tampon. Lacey dive goes for 2. Harold Perkins on the stop, and you have the 2-minute warning. Chambliss on a power goes for 2. Chambliss on a power goes for 3, but he gets out of bounds and stops the clock. Chambliss, stops the clock on 3rd and 4, I might add. So you have a run by Chambliss, the power that goes for 1. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. What am I missing here? Chambliss on 2 power runs goes for 1, no gain, 3 and 1, leading to 3rd and 5. On the 3rd and 5, he runs for 1 and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. They mark it off as 4th and 3. All right, we just got done talking about this. So 4th and 3 to end the game here. Ole Miss calls the timeout. And the same exact play flipped that they hit on you in the first half, they would hit on you in the second half. So they literally ran it on you in the first play of the first 4th down of the game. They ran the same exact play, guys. That is getting out schemed. That is getting out maneuvered. You know what, Lane, you know what he's not thinking? He's not thinking that we'll run the same fucking play on his ass. All right, run it. Sounds good. And Lane Kiffin rolls the dice, gets the first down, and they win. They would kneel out the game, and they win the football game. So let's get to it here. Let's talk about what the elephant in the room is. LSU offensively right now is absolutely atrocious. You went into a game today and you had a total net yardage of 254 yards. I thought the passing game was abysmal. I thought the decisions and throws were god-awful. I thought that sometimes, and a lot of times too, some of your receivers couldn't get separation, and that is going to happen. But you are making very bad decisions. I know that the stat sheet is going to show that you only ran the ball for 57 yards. And, yeah, you did. And the same problems that occurred last season along your offensive line remain the same. This one's a little bit different, though, because this rushing defense literally was 120th in the country in stopping the run. They got run on everybody. And ironically, the stat sheet does not show it because there were some times that you got some 8-9 yard runs. Ask Harlan Berry about his touchdown, by the way. You did have some decent runs in there. Now, the injuries are a big issue. Aaron Anderson going down is a big issue. Paul Mabenga going down. That stinks. Weston Davis wasn't there. I get it. You had 2 offensive linemen and your best receiver that went down. Well, Blake, we were still in the game. Guys, how do you not look at this? And well, the Aaron Anderson thing is because of a bad throw from Garrett. A horrible throw. You missed multiple fade routes that if thrown in a good, timely manner and had some oomph on it, and you were actually able to have some oomph on it, that could have gone for 6. You left a lot of points on the field. A lot of points. Because right now, offensively, you are flat out broken. Flat out broken. And you look at the defense and say, listen, they gave up 24 points. Okay. It's not a completely fantastic day on some of the things that they did because they were put in a lot of tough situations. In the second half, they gave up 7 points. 7. And in the second half, for what it's worth, your offense, even though they only were giving up 7, you would have a punt, a field goal, and a field goal, and a touchdown. Not being able to convert because some of the throws that you had were god-awful led you to losing this game. See, the defense puts you in very good and favorable field position situations because they forced a punt to start off the second half. They got an interception from P.J. Woodland. They put you in right situations. The touchdown when they would go up 24-13 was a backbreaker, an outright backbreaker for you. The 3rd and 14, yes, it was awful because Ole Miss would go on an 11-play drive for 75 yards and a touchdown and eating up 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the game. They gave up 7 points in the second half, and you offensively are so inept at so many things that you do, you got beat because of it. You got beat because of it. In the third quarter, you had 5 plays for 15 yards. You had 8 plays for 33 yards in a field goal, so not too bad, but 20 plus of it came on one play. And you had 6 plays for 16 yards. You had the ball for 1 possession in this fourth quarter. You had the ball 1 time. When it mattered the most, you couldn't get the stop. And then when it mattered the most, you couldn't score. You got a lot of problems on offense. A lot. That right now seem, I mean, I hate to say it like this, they seem unfixable. Guys, you can't be a playoff team playing like this. You're not a playoff team playing like this. You're a god-awful team playing like this. So you lose to Ole Miss 24-19 in a hostile environment. You have a bye week, and then you have South Carolina. And you got a lot that you need to work on. And I know and understand that probably your head coach does not want to get involved in outright play calling. But some things need to change. I know a lot of you are probably going to call for Michael Van Buren. And I need to have a God's honest conversation with myself before I start saying maybe that's where you need to go. I didn't bail on Jaden in 22. I'm not bailing on us right now. But, guys, it's got to be better. If you stat sheet watch and you just say, well, it wasn't abysmal. Guys, he was bad. A lot of the throws came on screens in that final drive. Like, as an example, just for what it's worth, in that final drive, Nuss had 21 completions. But the last drive gave him the most. So the entire game, you were just inept offensively. 10-yard pass to Kyle Parker, 21-yard pass to Barryon Brown, a pair of incompletions, a third down pass to Kyle Parker, that's 3, 9-yard pass to Bauer Sharp, that's 4, a 10-yard pass to Kyle Parker, that's 5, and an out route to Kyle Parker, that's 6. 6 of the 21 completions you had came on one drive, and it's the only thing that you did worth a damn. Defensively, look, did you play great? No. I don't want to say you played great, but I think you did well more than enough. If you would have told me, Blake, there would be a half where Ole Miss is only going to score 7 points in the second half, I would tell you were going to win. I would have told you would have won. But you didn't, because you kept having to punt the ball to them. And I equate it to this. If you're around a rattlesnake, you're around a water moccasin, you keep playing with it, and you keep playing with fire, you're going to get bit. You keep playing with fire, you're going to get burned. At some point, it's going to happen. So you keep giving the ball back because you can't go but 16 yards, and you have to keep lining up for field goals, and basically the defense is constantly having to save your ass over and over again. You won't win any games. The offensive line is an issue. It was an issue last year. It's an issue right now. And when I look at it, I just say to myself very simply and calmly, it might be time to make a change. I know you're recruiting at a very high level at that position, but something's got to give. Something's got to give. If the situation is to change up play calling and see how that goes, then fine. Fine. But this offensive line is atrociously bad. They're atrociously bad. I don't think they're as bad at running the football in some situations as they were last year. I'll give this team this. You're out with Caden Durham. You're out with Aaron Anderson. You're out with Weston Davis. And you're out with Paul Mabenga. You did lose 4 starters in the game. You lost 4 starters. And I know that will be an excuse for some. It's just not going to be an excuse for me. The Aaron Anderson one is massive. It doesn't stop some of the bad decisions that you made and some bad play. Guys, it doesn't excuse the very bad throws to Chris Hilton. It doesn't excuse the interception. It doesn't excuse getting sacked with a 3-man rush. Those things are inexcusable. They have nothing to do with Aaron Anderson. You paid a lot of money for multiple wide receivers, and you're not utilizing them enough. You have the fastest man and probably in college football, and you're not using him enough. I mean, guys, if you did a double move and gave an in route, a slant, a sluggo to Chris Hilton, shit might be very real. But you're only inept to run fade routes with his ass and say, well, we got to pray for this. Tonight was a microcosm of what your season has been, and a better team beat you tonight. They were the better team today. And they had multiple penalties, back-breaking penalties for them, and they still beat you. Guys, they had 14-plus penalties. It's insane, man. It's absolutely insane. Not good. Not good. All right. Everyone do us a favor and hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. You can be doing some live betting on Alabama, Georgia, or Oregon and Penn State. Go over there today and do it. Let's get these super chats. Frank Castle with a $2 super chat says, and idiots want 9 freaking conference games. Yeah, I don't get that, Frank. I do not get that, but you're going to continue to see stuff like this. I mean, imagine having 9 conference games in this brutal of a schedule and of this conference. But I mean, this was your second. You know what I mean? Andrew with a $5 super chat says, can't believe how incompetent of a game plan LSU had. I think Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan should own this complete embarrassment, need to run the ball early. Yeah, they need to run the ball early. I mean, listen. This one's going to sting, and it should sting. It's going to sting because you just had so many opportunities, and you got to – I think – this is what I think. I think a bad thing happens in the run game, and Joe Sloan says, I'm not going back to it at all. And he doesn't. He doesn't. Guys, he's an air raid guy who does no air raid principles. Think about that for a minute. 11C Army says this one hurts. We didn't deserve to win, but it still hurts. No, we didn't deserve to win. To be honest with you guys, I think if you ask me, they played maybe their B game and they still beat you. And my worry, Frank, at the current my worry, Army, is that you played about as good as you can offensively, and that's about what you're going to get. That's my worry, because I do not think that you can get better here. Right now, I don't think that you're offensively, guys, you've gone through 5 games and it's been like this. What makes us think it's going to get any better? They're going to have to prove that they can get better. They're going to have to prove it. And guys, you go on the road to Bama, you go on the road to Oklahoma, and you need to be realistic with yourself about this shit. You got to be realistic. I think you're good defensively. I think you suck offensively. I do. I think you're awful. Frank with a $2 or with a $20 super chat, says F the offense, F Sloan, F Davis. Frank Wilson can be an analyst. Assumed we could be average. Assumed we could be average. That's all I need for you to be what you were last year with less. Couldn't even manage that. We have more with way more pieces. Yeah. That's the thing that stings. Guys, you spent $18 million and you walked in there and you have no offense. You have an $18 million roster and you walked in there with no offense. It's the truth. I mean, it's just the truth. I got to be honest. I'm surprised we're an hour 40 minutes into this and I haven't been asked about Michael Van Buren yet. Bruh 337 says, Blake, I don't care. With a $2 super chat, I don't care. Fire someone. They're not going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. Maybe because you're not technically out of it, but guys, I mean, it is so bad. Things are so bad. TL became a member on the YouTube channel. Yes, you can go over to YouTube, join. We're a couple away. I think maybe like 10 or 15 away. And we're going to start doing some members only content, but keep sharing. Members only do get the access pass about 30 minutes to an hour for all content though, as of right now. But thank you, TL. Chili Vic says Sloan is playing Madden. Kelly is Les Miles. I don't see the Les Miles thing because Les ran the football and wouldn't open anything up. Right now, BK, Les meddled too much. BK's not meddling enough. They're actually the opposite, Chili. They're actually the opposite because I think Brian Kelly does know what he's doing. And I think he doesn't want to do it. I said this. Hold on. In the offseason, I stated that when Brian Kelly got involved with play calling last year during the Florida week, a thought that I had, and we talked about a lot here, was I don't think Brian Kelly could get away with getting involved and then backing out. He's got to be more involved, ironically. I think it's opposite with Les because this offense doesn't have a pulse. They have no identity. I have no idea what they're trying to accomplish ever. If they're saying now that a lot of their calls were based off of Garrett's health, then take him out. Because he's losing you game. He lost you. I mean, he didn't lose you a game. You lost your game as a team, but you can't keep having that shit, man. Jeff says it's NX I don't know what that means. Somebody more smart than me. I'm sorry, I don't know what this means, but basically, Jeff, on YouTube says it's time to basically bench Nuss. All right, so we did get in it within an hour and 40 minutes. I don't know. I mean, I would definitely hear an argument for it. I would definitely hear an argument. I mean, guys, you got to do something. You got to do something. But if he's hurt, and listen, for what it's worth, I don't even think they're not going to do that. Michael Van Buren's got to be ready to go. Every single week, Michael Van Buren's got to be ready to go. He's got to be ready to go. And I mean, guys, you want to see it. I don't think that they do it. And I got to hear more of an explanation of what they're trying to do. I mean, like on Monday, and I don't even know if Brian Kelly's doing a press conference on Monday because you have a bye week. I'm really interested, very interested to hear if somebody asks Brian Kelly, hey, what do you do with the Nussmeier situation and missing throws downfield? And if he defends it, then he defends it. But I think he will. But there's no way. Like, there needs to be he can get mad at all he wants about those questions. The thing about that is, hey, listen. And it's why he got pissed off at Florida. Like, hey, man, we just won a game against a conference opponent with our fucking offense. And I would hear the argument. I mean, here's the thing with Michael Van Buren that worries me. Guys, he struggled last year in the SEC too. Now, he was a true freshman, but I don't know if you don't let it rip, man. But you cannot, let me just tell you this. You cannot have a non-mobile quarterback in this league. I never have believed that, and I don't think you are going to win games with it. If you can't move, you better be exceptional at being a decision maker. And so, guys, let's just be real. A lot of the passes were off. Bad. They'll never do it. At least I'd have to see it. Nuss looking like Brandon Harris out there. No, he ain't that bad. He ain't that bad. JB with a $2 super chat says not having a dual threat quarterback in 2025 is unserious. I don't disagree. And I don't think it's that Garrett can't run. I think he chooses not to. I really do feel like he backed out. And I really feel like he backed out of that quarterback sneak. I don't think he wanted it at all. Just being honest. So, we'll see. Army says the 2-point conversion play was so laughably bad. Yeah, it was. I didn't even talk about it. I marked through it. The 2-point conversion. I tweeted this out. I have no fucking idea what you were doing. And then here's the problem that I have with the 2-point conversion. The problem that I had with the 2-point conversion was pretty simple. Harlem Berry just ran the ball for 9 yards and then ran the ball in for a score. If you're going to run the ball, why are you taking the hot hand out? Why are you taking him out? Now, the play call was atrocious, right? The play call was god-awful. But even in it being god-awful, guys, I fully expect it to be god-awful. But what I mainly don't understand is a guy just scored a touchdown. It was the best runs that you had on the night. So why in heavens to Betsy are you even remotely close in the stratosphere of saying, hey, let's take the guy out who's got the most productive runs for us on the game. Let's take him out for the most critical point of our game so far. I mean, guys, I get it, though. I mean, listen, if I'm not mistaken, you wouldn't stop them, though. So even if you get it, you don't stop them. I mean, it's a brutal situation to be in, but you don't stop them anyway. Cole says, so what's going to be the excuses from BK this time for the offense? Still not a fan of BK, and no question Sloan has got to go. He's basically the equivalent of House. Oof. Yeah, Cole, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his excuses are. I think he'll bring up injuries and say we fought hard and all that stuff. And they did have a lot of injuries. But he's got to have a realistic conversation with himself and Garrett and be like, listen, buddy, like this, I mean, so what? You're 21 of 34. I mean, like, but it's not all on him. And you got to go to Sloan and say, like, hey, man, this probably ain't working out. You better figure something out quickly. Or I got another thing, get involved. He's not going to. Ian Robinson with a $5 super chat says, we just are who we are under BK, you guys. We can make any excuse we want to, but BK is not the guy to lead us back to a serious run. Only 6 more years. I mean, this is what I'd say. I know we're talking about this in a 1-game sample size. And listen, it's only 1 game. But through the first 5 weeks and for the first 5 games, I think that you look at this and say to yourself, all right, what is the realistic expectation? Well, the realistic expectation is to go 9-3. Okay, sounds good. Or not, excuse me, not go 9-3. Go 10-2 and make a playoff. Guys, you're just not going to make a playoff with this offense. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So your chances, because guys, you got to go to Bama on the road. They're up 17-14 on Georgia. You know that who knows? Cole says they might have had a better chance with the backup quarterback today. Maybe. I mean, I don't think the backup quarterback saves everything that you did, but guys, Garrett's first half was god awful. It was horrible. He went 6 of 12 in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was god awful, guys. I mean, the guy that we saw last year is not here. Now, if he's injured, he's injured. But the problem is that if he's injured, he's kind of hurting your team a little bit. In some of those throws. I mean, like the Xavier throw, guys. I mean, how many yards did Garrett have here? I don't even know how many yards Garrett had. Let's see. He had 197 passing yards, and 50 of it came on a broken play to Xavier Thomas. Not good. Not good. Sam with a $2 super chat. Nuss is absolutely terrible. His first half was definitely terrible. Alexander Taylor said Nuss lost 3 QB battles. He is what he is. I don't know about 3. I think Jaden was always going to be a starter after the first one, but he lost 2. One way early, one to Jaden Daniels. You could say they did it twice, but they never really did it twice when we went out to practice. It was always Jaden. But yeah, it's just not good. And you put him with a play caller who, quite honestly, might be in a little bit over his head here. So, yeah. Andrew says, fire everyone on offense. Why did it take 3 quarters to start running the ball against a 3-man front? How are we giving up sacks versus a 3-man front? I'm tired of being gaslit about this offense. They're inept. I agree. There was no gaslighting on this show. If you listen to practice reports, 0 gaslighting. None. Guys, none. However, you can't do that right now. I think you'll make a change or the change at the end of the year. And if it gets that bad, then yeah. But you spent a lot of money to get a roster. And right now your coaching staff is not doing the job. They're not doing a good job. So I don't like calling for people to be fired. I don't want people going out there in public saying I should be fired. I can't really fire myself, but I guess I could. But I don't want people telling me to be. I don't like that. I mean, like, these people are humans, and I get it, but like, I mean, guys, people spend a lot of their own money in NIL. Like, show of thumbs. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Did you donate to the Bayou Collective? And that's where it's like, hey, man, I donated. I was asked, I donated, and our offense, I mean, I expected more, and you should be getting more. Drew Boudreaux with a $5 super chat says, worst part about this is we're wasting limited time with Blake Baker. Any chances for an extension? Yeah, I think there's chances. I just don't think you get it. There's chances. I mean, the wheels would have to fall off, but there's chances. And you're right. You're wasting another really good side of the football. Hunter Harding says, Joe Sloan is ass, and we need to try something other than us. Thank you for being a member, Hunter, as well. I mean, listen, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if Brian Kelly was asked about it in his postgame. I'm sure he would laugh at that comment. But I'm going to tell you right now, behind closed doors, he's going to have those conversations. He's going to have those conversations. Man, I've been up since 5 o'clock. We had the funeral today. Man, I'm exhausted. Cole says, or that he had that offense now. Oh, yeah. I mean, golly. It's just not good. Freak with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Freak. It's a massive, massive super chat there. I greatly appreciate it. All right, we got a lot of super chats in here. A lot. Let's start rolling. Guys, I'm going to have to start rolling through some of these because we got a lot. We're 2 hours into this. So we're going to start rolling through them here. Broad337 says 0% Baker wants to stay our defense, our DC with no offense. I agree. He wouldn't want to stay this. And listen, unless, Michael Van Buren goes in for whatever reason and starts balling, but they're going to give Nuss the week, and he's not going to prep for South Carolina. And then we're going to probably see a lot of the same stuff. Guys, there's no way for the next 2 weeks that you should build yourself up in believing that this offense can be different, regardless of what's said, even if it comes from me. You shouldn't believe that. Why would you believe that? Dane Bergeron says, I drove all the way to Oxford to watch that shit. I am done with BK, this soft-ass football team. This is the worst since the 90s. Les had some bad ones, Dane. It sucks you had to drive all the way up there to see that, but Les had some really bad ones. Ricky says, I'm hearing Nuss needs surgery. Well, then if he needs surgery, get him out there and play Michael Van Buren. If he needs surgery, then he shouldn't be playing. I have not personally heard that. Now, if he does, there's no rate. Why are you playing him then? He should not be playing. If you need surgery, he should not be playing. So I kind of find a hard time to believe, unless he just did it in the game, that he needs surgery. Maybe he does, man. I mean, like, maybe he does. But then he shouldn't be playing. Frank with a $10 super chat says, I'm mad with myself because my final thought about this offense was that Sloan and the offense would kill us this year, but I pushed my copium down my throat during the offseason. Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. They were never going to change. Never going to change. TL says, Nuss throwing ducks, bad decisions. Sloan getting away from the run in the first half. So frustrating for BK and the offense not being able to put it together. Very frustrating. TL, thank you for the super chat. Very, very, very frustrating. Frank sends another $10 super chat, says, against my gut instinct, I said we'd walk in and be a top 40 offense. We're 25th last year. You can be average with more, right? No, can't even manage to prove us Nega Tigers wrong. Well, you weren't wrong. And you can't base, Frank, here's something that I've learned. Now, you can take this and run with it or not. You can't base last year's results off of new personnel because Kyron Lacey's not here. Will Campbell's not here. Dellinger, Frazier, Emory Jones, they're not here. Aaron Anderson, it was the only one that's there, but he's not doing anything. Guys, and I got to be real with you. I mean, some of these guys and receivers aren't getting separation. You went outside the state of Louisiana to get wide receivers. You can't throw the ball down the field. You got a fast guy running the ball down the field, and you can't get the ball to him. You can't get the ball to him. So it's a joke. It's a joke. Jay Mine says, bring Joe Brady back, please. He's never coming here. And Nuss will refuse to run and throws into traffic. Joe Brady will never be your LSU OC again unless some really bad shit or crazy shit happens. It's not going to happen. Why would he leave the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen for this? Why? And get paid less. There's no, guys, don't even bring it up. It's just not going to happen. Otis Quinn with a $10 super chat says, run game was working. I don't know why we refuse to stay with it. Hashtag AYS. Otis, because we're inept and we're dumb sometimes. It was working, and you got away from it. Guys, they were the 120th rushing team in the country defensively, and you didn't – your game plan was not like, hey, man, they suck, so we're going to run the ball. And Joe Sloan got completely outdueled again by Pete Golding. Completely outdueled. Frank, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. Rolo says, what makes me sick is we will have to fix this crap on the offense and replace all the talent on defense next year. Yeah. Unless you just spend a shitload of money on both sides of the ball. By the way, you don't have a quarterback for the 2026 class. In recruiting. Wonder what Bryce Underwood thinks today. Leighton Linder says a $20 super chat. Thank you, Leighton. Says LSU has scored more than 2 touchdowns in one time against Southeastern. He has put up more than 23 points once. Coaching lost this game, plain and simple, including the way Nuss's injury is being handled. He hasn't exactly been up to par either. Piss poor. Yeah, it is on coaching. Because if he's injured, then that's on you for not taking him out. And if he's hurting your team, it's on you you don't want to overreact and panic, but at the same time, you don't want to lose. Zachary Rogers says, Ole Miss looked like everything you said LSU is. What did I say LSU was? Thank you for the money. What did I say LSU was? I never said offensively that they looked good. Ever. So I know that Zach's been in the comments all week, at least from what Brandon tells me. I never said they were good. Not once. So either you can't hear and need to get the earwax out of your ears, or you need to actually listen instead of putting gotcha moments that you tried to walk in and get and got dunked on and you gave money for it. Bruh337 with a $10 super chat says someone needs to walk into the presser and tell Kelly to explain how he saw 62,584 snaps with a 3-man rush. It's funny because it's close to the stadium numbers, and still didn't decide to run the ball. It's a fireable offense, Blake. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're talking about firing Brian Kelly, it just will not happen. If you're talking about Sloan, well, then where you go? Do you go Alex Atkins? Where do you go? But this offense is shit. Nick says, why would Kelly ever decide to get away from a DT QB or dual threat quarterback when it's their best success he's ever had on the offense? Stupid is as stupid does. Stupid is stupid does. Was that good, Forrest Gump? Derek Hornsby with a $2 super chat says, I'm questioning Brad Davis at this point. You should question everybody. Everybody on the offensive staff should be questioned, even Frank. Alexander Taylor says, Nuss killed Aaron money year. It's a horrible throw. It's a hospital ball. It was a hospital ball. I mean, he put it up for grabs, and Aaron tried to go up for it and got killed for it. Got destroyed for his problems. Got destroyed. So, yeah. Ricky also says LSU quarterback, ? Missing persons. Joe with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Joe. Cation Curveball with a lot of super chat says, I told y'all this team is dog ass. Fire BK. Says, Blake, what you got? I called this. Cajun Curveball, where did I ever tell you wrong? Sends a $1 in or $2 in, says fire Brian Kelly. He also says Nussmeier is the worst college football quarterback. No, he's not. My grandma could play better quarterback than him. He's not the worst. He also says, can we start Michael Van Buren? Nuss is dog mess. He then says, I don't give a F about that Captain Patch or 18. Cut Nuss. He sucks. Wow. Then he turns around and says, Nuss, we are number 18. Jacob Hester is embarrassed. Then says Nuss should never wear 18. He is awful. Does he send anything else? No? Okay. Boy, that was a lot. Thank you for sending me a bunch of money to read all that. Bryce sends a $2 super chat in the mix of all that too. Garrett had an awful day. He had an awful day. Gerald Rhodes says, I'm going to be honest, three-man rush, any quarterback but Nuss would have torched and won the game. O-line is not the problem. Well, he definitely would. I definitely would question why Garrett didn't run hardly at all. That would be my question. Why is he so scared of running the ball? I don't know. Christian Wheeler says, Blake, everything you said about this offense is so true. I only wish BK could hear your statements. Listening to BK's press conference, he's in denial about the offense to a certain extent. Well, I haven't listened to it clearly because we've been here the whole time. I don't know how you can be in denial. Denial from what? What's he in denial from? I mean, you can't run the ball effectively because you're getting pushed around up front. And I do think you have a personnel problem up front. You are running into numbers, which is a play calling problem and a quarterback problem for not getting you in the right run. Your receivers aren't getting separation, and when they do get separation, you can't hit them. Your quarterback's making very, very, very bad throws and making very bad decisions, and it's costing you a lot. And I don't think that you have an answer. I just don't think that you have an answer at all. So we can pretend that there's an answer. I don't know. I just got sent this. T-Bob Abear says, forcing out Mike Denbrock in favor of Joe Sloan looks like one of the poorest decisions of the Kelly era. I'm going to stay out of that one. I don't think T-Bob's completely wrong. Ethan with a $5 super chat says, when as a fan base do we demand from the coaching staff the severity of the Nuss injury? Is it scapegoat for bad offense? Yes, it's a scapegoat because he said he was fine tonight. Right? Like he said he'd be fine today. It's a scapegoat. You can't say he's injured. Now, if he came out and said that he tweaked it or whatever, I'm not buying that. Ethan Rowland became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Ethan. I greatly appreciate it. We're probably about to get really close to start doing some members-only content here that's not like on live shows or anything. And we'll take some Q&As from there. Bryce Buren says the Georgia-Bama game making me even more mad because we are just as talented, but those are actual idiots. But we have an actual idiot as our OC and soft-ass running backs and offensive line. You do not have a receiver better than Ryan Williams. So they do got some better players than you, and they have a better offensive line than you. So, technically they have better players. Cajun Curveball says fire BK. Benny with a $2 super chat and a $5 super chat says MVB wins you that game or at least gives you a better chance with his ability to run. Nuss refuses to run and can only make the screen or check down. Right now that is and occasionally some stuff over the middle. That is where you sit at the current moment. Yes. Blake, I don't know, have tried MVP. I maybe would have tried MVP. Nuss is more erratic this year. His issue is between his ears. Nuss looked like Jordan Jefferson today. Jordan would at least run that thing. Jefferson would at least run it. Might not get anywhere, but at least he'd run it. So, yeah. Cajun Curveball says Bust is the worst quarterback. Bustmeyer, excuse me, is the worst quarterback in this class. Saints, please do not draft. Leave. All right, Cajun. Cajun, calm down, buddy. Calm down. I get it, but calm down a little bit. Ethan says no one really realizes it, but Nuss was never the guy. Did you see T-Bob say anything about Denbrock? Here we go. I was just sent it. Yeah, I was just sent it. I'm not getting into this one. He can have that fight, but he can have that fight because he's on a national level and he doesn't have to. You're getting a lot of politics of he said, she said on that. This is what I tell you about what T-Bob said from what I've heard. Not trying to discredit T-Bob at all. What I have heard in reference to what T-Bob mentioned on Twitter about forcing out Denbrock for Joe Sloan, I don't think all of that is completely true. The reason I don't is because Mike did and was going to sign a massive extension. Remember, if you remember the timeline, Mike Denbrock agrees to sign extension. A&M came calling with Mike Elko. He didn't sign it, and then he didn't sign yours. Then Marcus Freeman comes calling. Well, I think that there were some decisions, and I don't know if the Denbrock and Sloan duo liked each other and a decision was ultimately made. I don't think the decision, however, completely impacted what Denbrock did. I think there were some other key factors there. Now, he said I couldn't have a closer source on this. The person I talked to, well, from what I know, it is from what I was told, and kind of said this when it happened. I don't think it was all the decisions. I think it had a lot to do with it, though. A lot to do with it. T-Bob's not completely off, but Sloan is not up to snuff, and I hate that for him. I don't like calling for people to be fired. I just don't like it. You guys can make your own decisions because it's not LSU quality of play calling. They would say it's personnel. Well, then it's y'all's job to get personnel in there. I mean, guys, essentially, injury or no injury. I mean, we went into the game and BK said Garrett's going to be 100%. No one's ever going to be 100%. But it doesn't affect and it doesn't change the decision-making by Garrett. It doesn't change the play calling. And maybe the play calling is as bad because you don't think Garrett can lead you. I would really be interested to see what Joe Sloan's play calling looks like outside of that. So, Hale Mendoza says, honest question, do we score against Vandy? Guys, you got Vandy on the road. You got Ole Miss on the road. You got Vandy on the road. You got Oklahoma on the road. And with this offense, no, you might – I mean, guys, you're going to be in some dog fights. Some dog fights. Jamie Post says, to what extent is Witt's injury? I have not heard, Jamie. I have not heard. Nick says, Daniels was all the proof Kelly needed to go dual threat quarterback. Should always be starting for LSU. I mean, how is he that stupid? Well, you didn't recruit worth a damn. You didn't recruit worth a damn. So, you know what I mean? Derek Morgan became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Derek. I do greatly appreciate that. All right, a couple more. We might not get to phone calls. Guys, I'm 2 hours and 12 minutes into this, and I still got things I need to do. I'll probably just make it up to y'all on Monday. probably just going to have to make it up to y'all on Monday. Zachary Rogers says, Benny, I'm coming back. Welcome LSU fans to Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. It's going to be funny in 2 weeks when your head coach is getting poached by Florida. Benny with a $10 super chat sends, we won't make the playoffs this year. It doesn't look that way right now. With the offense, and you waste $20 million NIL class, and now we will have to spend another $20 million next year to replace Perk Witt and find a new quarterback. Well, it might be Michael Van Buren, but you're going to have to spend that money every year. So I get what you're saying, but you're going to have to spend that level of money every year. Lucky Eastside sends, Nuss missing Chris Hilton twice on go routes. Do you think it's an injury or him just playing bad? Him playing bad. Because you can't come out there and tell me that it's not injury related and that he's kind of out of this and then say that it's injury related when he messes up. When he makes bad throws, you can't say, well, it's the injury. And then when he makes good throws, oh, well, he looks good now. You can't do that. He looked good against Southeastern. You can't do that. It's not how this works. Just not how this works. Anthony Hurst says the receivers will never get separation when teams play 8-man coverage. I agree with that, Anthony. He says the line sucks. Nuss can't read the defense. The running backs are soft, and Sloan's play calling is terrible. I agree with the 8-man pressure stuff. 8-man drop stuff. I completely agree. Completely agree, Anthony. Completely agree. My buddy said, what am I doing? I took a picture of me on the show. Sam Dorsey says Chambliss will be the Heisman favorite now. Great. Well, maybe he deserves to be. Maybe he deserves to be. SW says BK came to LSU to access more talent that he doesn't know how to lead or leverage. Appreciate the content, Blake. Shout out from DeRitter. Yeah, where is everybody watching from? Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, but you don't have the personnel offensively. In my humble opinion, you do not have the personnel. I do not believe that you have the personnel. Not offensively, I don't. Not offensively, I don't. So yeah. It is what it is there. All right. We're gonna make the phone calls up to y'all on Monday. Remind me on Monday. We'll do live call-ins on Monday, and we'll extend the show. I think Anthony might have sent no more super chats. All right, guys, we're out of here. Do us a favor, hit the like and share. We greatly appreciate when y'all do that. We'll see y'all on Monday. We might even do something tomorrow. Who knows? We'll take in the call-ins at some point, either tomorrow or Monday. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace.